Hello and welcome to my channel. Today, as you can see, I am reviewing The Gentleman. So very lucky for me that my cinema had an advanced screening of this film that was at my cinema on the 15th. And despite the fact that this film comes out on the 1st of January in Australia, I could not resist the opportunity to get it even a few more weeks earlier, so I jumped at the chance and went to the advanced screening. And to my surprise, this screening announced that there was an embargo, which I actually found quite exciting. It was my first embargo, which if I'm posting this, then obviously the embargo has been lifted. And seeing this embargo made me realize all those people earlier this year, film critics, people who get to attend press screenings, who took to their social media and complained that embargoes are impeding on their freedom of speech. I already thought this, but now it is officially confirmed that the people who said this are entitled twats. I'm sorry, that is so ridiculous. The film, as I said, comes out on the 1st of January in Australia. It comes out in America on the 24th of January. So either way, Australia was going to be getting it early, which is a rarity. But being able to see it on the 15th of December, so many weeks earlier than its scheduled release, and them asking very simply that if you plan on doing a review or if you're with the media, there is an embargo, please do not post anything until the 19th. All they're asking for me, it's like, hey, we're offering you to see this film earlier than everybody else. We just ask in return that you wait 4 days to post it. A 4-day wait, I'm still posting it earlier than its scheduled release. Like, I don't understand why people were bitching about something like that. It's a very fair request. You are being offered something. You are privileged enough to get that opportunity. They're asking one thing in return. It's the least you can do. So I was not like, oh damn, I can't post about it as soon as I get home. I was actually happy that I didn't feel like I was going to be rushed to put out a review. I could just kind of sit back, work on my review, think of what I wanted to say, get it right. I didn't feel rushed, and I really liked that. Either way, seeing so many people who get to go to press screenings. This was not a press screening, by the way, but just so many people get to it and they all talk about, I've got friends who are just like, sorry, I can't talk about it, I'm under embargo, and now I'm like, I get to say that. Like, it was kind of cool. So to those people who bitch about it, get off your high horse and just enjoy the fact that you got to see a movie early. But now that I have said that, I will get on with the actual review. The Gentleman, formerly known as Tough Guys and Bush, is a 2020 British-American crime comedy film directed by Guy Ritchie with a screenplay by Ritchie from a story by Ritchie, Ivan Atkinson, and Marn Davies. It follows American expat Mickey Pearson, who has created a highly profitable marijuana empire in London. When word gets out that he is looking to cash out his business, it triggers plots, schemes, bribery, and blackmail in an attempt to steal his domain out from under him. For context, let me begin this by saying that this is not the kind of film I would ever consider watching for a casual movie experience. Neither the cast or plot are something that appeals to my usual taste, but since I had the opportunity to see this film a month before the worldwide release, I took that opportunity without complaint. It's a double blessing, being offered an opportunity most aren't, and being opened up to a film you otherwise would not have seen. All of this makes the fact that I supremely enjoyed this film all the better. Though I'm not all that familiar with the work of Guy Ritchie, with the only films of his I've seen being Sherlock Holmes from 2009 and its sequel, both of which I highly enjoyed, this meant I was able to go into The Gentleman with a blank slate. Zero expectations towards what I was about to see. With film marketing and advertising being everywhere, it's hard to go into any film nowadays without some form of preconceived notion of what you're about to see. I mean, I wonder what I might have walked away thinking had I had expectations, but that seems besides the point, as all that matters is that I found The Gentleman to be a highly intelligent, fast-paced, witty film full of crime, intrigue, and a good cup of English tea. While I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the majority of the cast in this film, believe me when I say they all gave outstanding performances that had me saying in my head, these performances are unbelievably good. It's hard to say who had the standout performance in this film because everyone is equally as good as those they were performing opposite, as As the story and plot build at a beautiful pace, the performances build with it, and as each character brings the story to a new level, the actors raise the bar of their performances, and the bar continues to be elevated throughout the entire film until the credits roll. While I must admit I was not at all impressed by Jeremy Strong's performances and found that to be the only weak link in the film, him aside, no actor faltered in their performance. It was like watching a perfect tennis match. One actor serves this fantastic piece of dialogue and their opponent hits back just as spectacularly until we're engrossed in a rally worthy of your attention and money. At first I was unsure about the story and where it was going, but very quickly I didn't care about the conclusion. I was utterly captivated by the journey, which is not something I find myself saying all that often. In most films, the journey becomes tedious and I am eager to reach the end and get the answers. In this film, however, the brilliant pacing and unraveling of the story as we went along made me happy to sit back and watch and wait to see where it was going. Despite reveals happening at every turn, I was unable to predict how it would end. Given how often I can predict endings, not being able to was a pleasant and refreshing change that made this film even more enjoyable, and it was already plenty enjoyable. Some films you walk away feeling it either excelled at performances or story, rarely both. In this case, both were phenomenal and were the perfect marriage. Without the story, our actors would have had little to work with, and without the actors, we wouldn't have been able to appreciate the intricacies, or dare I say, nuances of the film. Now, perhaps you think that goes without being said, but you'd be surprised how many movies don't care enough to make sure the actors and the story work together in perfect harmony. I can see why this film is called The Gentleman. Although we are dealing with an incredibly cutthroat world of drugs and crime, we are dealing with British drugs and crime. So everything from death threats to a shower of bullets is delivered with such gentility and proper English manners that despite the many F and C bombs, it still felt proper. From watching McConaughey, Hunnam and Dockery calling someone a C word to Farrell discussing the difference between a racial slur and a compliment, it all felt, as one character in Matrix Reloaded said, like wiping your ass with silk. I love it. I genuinely had no idea drugs and crime could look so respectable. I enjoyed going an entire film not knowing just who had the upper hand, but I suppose that's the nature of the drug business. One must have eyes in the back of their heads. Something I must commend is Michelle Dockery. Dockery is the only actress in this star-studded cast and was able to keep up with her male cast members and give an equally incredible performance, even getting a few brilliant scenes in herself where she shows us her character is one powerful badass. As the saying goes, behind every great man there is a great woman. Well, in this case, her character Rosalind is not the woman behind the man, but the woman beside the man. She is his equal in all things, even business. If Mickey is the king of the jungle, then Rosalind is the queen. Mickey seeks her input, he trusts her opinions and relies on her and trusts her, and she has his back and he has hers. They are a brilliant team, which is a point stressed even further when we see that Mickey is less concerned with those who are undermining his business and more with those who would dare come for his wife. They'll pity the fool who dares to go toe to toe with her again. A great deal of the dialogue or how the film was shot reminds me of In Bruges. I think I say that wrong, but whatever, which funnily enough is a film I never quite enjoyed. The Gentleman, however, I loved and even found a few moments funny, and I wasn't alone because in these select moments, everyone in their seats roared with laughter. We also had a few cleverly placed moments that I'm not sure if I'd call them fourth wall breaks or just clever references. There is a scene where a character takes a pitch to Miramax. This is amusing because Miramax is the production company behind The Gentleman. Even funnier still is that on visible display in the background is a poster for The Man from U.N.C.L.E. from 2015, which was also directed by Guy Ritchie, though not done by Miramax, I don't believe. I personally really enjoyed this scene and found it quite witty and amusing. It's lovely to walk into a film expecting nothing, knowing nothing, and walking away having had a fabulous time, one you would recommend to friends and family and would probably even pay to experience again. It's been a while since a film surprised me and gave me something that I am not immediately able to compare to 50 other films. Perhaps this will feel familiar to others, but for me, this felt fresh and had me captivated from start to finish. I highly recommend people going and checking out The Gentleman when it is released January 1st in Australia and January 24th in the US. And there you have my review of The Gentleman. I really am surprised by how much I love this. I kind of only briefly glanced at the synopsis before I purchased my ticket to go see it, and I just went, okay, yeah, maybe that sounds like it could be fun, or it just could be not remotely up my alley, and I had no idea what to expect when the credits started rolling. The opening credits were very much felt like a tribute to Bond films. It had that style of opening, which I didn't mind. I thought it was actually kind of neat. It was an interesting little blend. Either way, yeah, this film was a blast. Not ever something I would have thought to watch, but I'm so glad I did because it was awesome. I honestly loved everyone. At first, I was like, whoa, Hugh Grant is unrecognizable, that accent is terrific, and at first I had marked him as like the standout performance, but as you keep watching the film, like everybody just kind of keeps keeping pace with each other, and it's hard to go, oh no, he was going, oh wait, no, but then he's done this, oh, but then she's done this, and everybody just had brilliant moments that I couldn't really go and tell you like who was the best because they were all brilliant except for Jeremy Strong. No offense. But since I know this doesn't come out for a month, there's a chance, well, I know that there's a good chance a lot of people haven't seen this film yet when I'm posting this, so I will just ask to comment down below and tell me if you plan to go and see this film when it comes out. Let me know when it comes out for you guys, and if you are watching this in the future that you have possibly seen it, then please comment and tell me what you thought about it. Thank you as always to my wonderful, brilliant, terrific patrons who are the lights of my life, and I am off now, and until next time, bye!